outstanding from this free kick for Charlton Athletic.
Good afternoon, good evening even. Welcome back to the channel. Gonna do a breakdown review of Stoke Away. I've been up there this afternoon with the big bulls heading Birmingham on the away day. So yeah, fantastic day had by all overall. First thing to say is I'm not going to be negative at all. I'm not one of those minority of our fans that is quite toxic and negative, keyboard warriors basically. I will try and not be negative where possible. Yeah, so if you're looking for a video that feeds the keyboard warriors and buys into their narrative, then this ain't the video for you. But anyway, here we go. So we went into the Stoke game off the back of defeat to Leicester last time out at Leicester. Had the international break since then, and 2 new additions in Robinson and Roberts. I said on the way up there I'd be happy with a point. Ultimately, we lost 1-0. But I took some notes during the game. So the notes I came up with were, yet again, that we need a set-piece coach. And this goes for both ends of the pitch. We can't seem to defend set pieces very well, and we certainly can't do anything with them when we've got them in our attacking favour. And in this division, when you're away from home, if you get set pieces, you're going to need to be clinical with them and try and nick one on the road, and then sort of defend it. And at the minute, we can't seem to do anything with set pieces or defend them. So I would say in today's modern game, set-piece coaches are a thing, and we haven't got a dedicated set-piece coach. We've just got Tom Huddleston and Jonathan Grounds who do that aspect of the training, but they're not dedicated set-piece coaches. So that would be a big need that we have, I think, to be fair. I then noted that, again, I think it's something I've said before, that we need to be quicker with decisive passes. Basically, we're taking passes, sort of 10 passes too late. For example, and this is mainly what I mean, there'll be times when we're breaking out of defence and you'll have Gray just in acres of space unmarked, or Laird in acres of space unmarked. And instead of giving them the ball while they've got absolutely no one anywhere near them and they can make a decisive run, we're not going for that. We're kind of doing this whole patient passing possession stuff. And when we do then feed Gray or Laird with the ball, it's 10 passes too late. The danger's gone. You know, they're not in acres of space anymore and able to make the run. So we need to be a little quicker with those sort of passes and those passages of play, and make some better decision making around passes. Also noted that, again, it was a case of we have this plan A, this way we want to play, this possession, this passing, this patience. But when we're chasing a game, or we need to get back in a game, or we feel like we're in control of the game and we need to go and get a goal to kill it off, we seem to have no urgency about us. And that's quite frustrating. In the first half an hour today, I felt that both wing backs, so Laird and Cochrane, they looked like they were on the ropes every time Stoke went down the wings. And if it hadn't have been for 2 unbelievable saves from Allsop, we'd have been 3-0 down within the first half an hour. not going to be negative, but Cochrane didn't have his best game in a Birmingham City shirt this afternoon. He's a great player, rate him highly, but he's not had his best day at the office this afternoon. So, yeah, not good. And again, all this possession stats, it's all good and well, but you've got to make something of it. You've got to do something with the possession if you're going to have all the possession. And at the minute, we're not. That's not to say it won't come right, and we'll get more clinical as the season goes on. But today it was just all possession, no threat really. Another thing that frustrated me in the second half, in particular, was we did start trying to push forward a little bit, which I'll talk about in a second. But more often than not, we were getting the ball on about the 25-35 yard line. And instead of the players facing forward towards their goal and going for it, they were kind of turning their back on goal and looking for the sort of sideways passes or the passes back home. And yeah, when you're chasing it, it's all right if you're 1-0 up and you maybe just got to try and contain the opponent and retain possession. But we were chasing the game. There should be no circumstances when you're chasing the game in the attacking phase of play, in the attacking third, where your back should be to goal. I thought that once Dushk and Kumas came on and we pushed Stano out onto the left, we looked a lot more dangerous in the second half. The last 20-30 minutes of the game, we were huffing and puffing, but we just weren't able to blow the door down. I thought we looked a lot more dangerous. For me, Stano looked a lot better on the left, and I'd be inclined to keep him on the left. He made 2 or 3 good runs down that left when he was pushed out there. And I thought that would probably be the way to go moving forward, with Stano down the left making those runs. I just don't know where that would leave Gray. But there you go. Bright Samuel, when he came on for Laird, I rate Laird, but Bright Samuel looks like he's more of a rounded player. He can do the defending phase of play and the attacking phase of play and everything in between. He's just a more complete player than Laird, as good as Laird is. I personally would have not took Laird off for Bright Samuel, but I'd have took Cochrane off, put Bright Samuel on the right and put Laird on the left, because Laird looks good on the left the last couple of games. But there you go. Chris Davis is paid to make those decisions, not me. And then with the last sort of 10 minutes to go, I was encouraged by the fact that he took a defender off in Newman. I think it was. He took defender off and he opted to put a more attacking player on. He chose Mark Leonard. I don't think that was the best choice. I think if you're going to go gung-ho, stick Dykes on and just see what happens. I think Dykes is more of a threat than Leonard if you're going to go for the gung-ho approach. Other things of note, so I thought Douche still didn't look quite match fit. He didn't look with it. He's got a bit of work to do. He's a bit off the boil fitness-wise, I think. And, as I said, the last 10-20 minutes I couldn't fault, but it wasn't to be today. We were in the game. We've been in every game we've played this year. We've not been blown away by anybody, but we're just not clinical or ruthless or kind of creating enough up top. Does Chris Davis need to rethink his tactical approach and maybe have a plan B in place if we're going to start chasing games or need to chase games? Possibly. Could that rethink be a kind of, ideally this first half, if I was managing the first half today, I'd have noticed after 10 minutes that, the playing of possession wasn't the game for it, because they looked dangerous through it. So I would have probably then had a plan B, which is a bit more attacking, a bit more clinical, a bit quicker. And I'd have said, right, go with that, get a goal, and then when we've got the goal, we can go back to plan A and keep the ball. And if we keep the ball, they won't score and they won't get back in the game, and we'll get away with it with 3 points. I think, it's all good and well playing that possession-based passing game, but there's a time and a place for it, really, and it's when you're leading a game, not when you're chasing a game or you're needing to get a goal on the before doing that to shut up shop. So it's a bit worrying that we had no shots on target today. I think we've only had like 4 shots on targets in the last 4 games, and one of those games was Port Vale. That's a little bit worrying. Chris Davis maybe needs to evaluate just how he thinks the tactic's doing and whether there can be a little plan B in there for times when more urgency and creativity is needed. But this is a tough division. No team's blown us away. We've been competitive. And I think there's a lot of keyboard warriors out tonight. There's a lot of negativity. There was a lot of negativity at the ground, fans arguing amongst themselves. But I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, yes, it's disheartening to lose a game. But I think a certain corner of the fan base, based on like how we blew League One away last year and some of the noises coming out of the club and signings made, they kind of think that we're going to walk an automatic promotion spot, and they're angry now because, you know, we've lost 2 or 3 games on the bounce. And the fact is, we were never going to get automatics this year. That was never a realistic target. I said the second we got promoted, this year's got to be about getting a nice mid-table, top half finish, maybe with a bit of fortune, nicking a little cheeky 6th playoff spot. But ultimately, it's about establishing ourselves as a championship side this year that can be competitive. And then next summer, if we've got those aspirations to get into the Premier League, the next summer we can bring in a bit more quality. We'll have a bit more experience in this division in the camp. And then we can have a go at it next year. And I think some fans have just, their kind of expectations and realism are quite out of sync. And yeah, I think that days like today have reminded them of that. And, you know, the Championship's a sort of division that's a very tough division. And if you're going to succeed, if we're going to succeed this year, we've got to do most of our work at home. We've got to get our wins at home. You're not going to get very much on the road. So, yeah, it's a case of, you know, it's a tough away day. It's a tough defeat to take. But we were in the game, in the second half in particular. And, you know, on another day, if we'd have been more clinical and more ruthless, we'd have come back with a point. But case Sarah, they've started the season well. They've got a veteran manager in this division who knows how to set his teams up and get the results over the line. And yeah, we fell short today, but there's positives in there still. You know, there's lads that aren't fully match fit yet that will get fully match fit, and they've still got a gel and stuff. But yeah, there we are. So that was my review of today at Stoke. Let me know what you think, what your thoughts on the performance and the result were. And as always, keep right on, Blue Noses. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. And on to the next one. We keep right on, joys and sorrows too. Up the Blues.